If an athlete suffers a concussion, they'll have symptoms that are pretty obvious. Many of them will have headache, they could have emotional changes, they could be more tired, they could have balance issues.
A concussion is more than just a headache for student athletes like Aiden and their families.
He kind of complained a little bit about how his head hurt, and he was feeling a little dizzy and not right. It's pretty scary because he was so young, and I knew, he was going to be playing sports, as he gets older and everything. And I'm thinking, how many times is going to happen?
You're going to follow my finger, okay? With regards to concussion, there's a lot that we really don't know. There's several different problems that happen in the brain. It's an energy crisis.
As we see more and more in the media about the effects of multiple concussions, we really want to know, how are these kids impacted long term, and what does that mean for quality of life?
This is now the focus of a 3-year study at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. Unlike other concussion studies, this one-of-a-kind research focuses solely on high school athletes and the impacts to their developing brains.
This is a really important study because I think that it's going to help kids in the long term. We're going to know more about concussion, know more about the mechanism of concussion, and know more about how to treat these individuals who struggle so hard.
Researchers are studying concussions and changes in brain function by monitoring hits to the head with student athletes in contact sports like football, ice hockey, and girls soccer.
You take blood draws?
Yep.
Awesome.
The study starts with researchers taking data and biospecimens from the athletes.
That data includes a neuropsychological assessment done by a neuropsychologist, pencil and paper neuropsychiatric testing. We're taking blood, urine, and saliva. And in addition, we're fitting them with a mouth guard that will monitor their impacts throughout the season.
The sensors in this mouth guard track the location of the hit and the force if an athlete has a hit to the head. The sensors store the data, and the data is then retrieved for researchers to study.
This study is fascinating because there's so many different aspects and goals that we have.
We're looking at individuals who are getting concussions, but we're also looking at individuals who don't sustain a concussion during the season. And we're checking them for neuropsychologic changes in the beginning of the season and later in the season to determine if small hits or subconcussive hits actually lead to long-term problems.
From a neuropsych perspective, is monitoring change in cognitive and emotional and behavioral functioning over time for our student athletes who take a lot of hits. Biospecimens allow us to bank all of their blood, urine, and saliva, so should in the future we identify a specific protein or nucleotide that we can identify right at the field to know whether or not a child has sustained a concussion in real time.
Let's go out!
This study is going to be phenomenal because not only are you going to test the kids now, but this is going to carry on for years. My hope is that it'll better educate parents, teachers, and kids just on how serious a concussion can really be.
And for researchers, the study's impact is one step closer to better diagnosing and treating concussions.
I hope that this study will help us to better identify the risks associated with playing contact sports and help us to advise people as to when to go back to play and maybe when to sit out.